What is up, guys? It's Fernando back with another video. Today, we will be doing my Raw recap and review for the July 27th episode. Um, this was up and down, this show. I mean, from the first half was complete and utter dog shit. I'm not going to lie. The first half of this show had nothing to do, really, with no significance to any part in SummerSlam, or it was ads, or it was just some bullshit that WWE put together to get people on the show, and didn't really add any hype to anything. It was real forgettable. But then the second half of the show, they really kicked it up, hit us with a surprise. Had some decent wrestling matches, and then at the end, it was all right. So let's get into it. We start the show off with the Brock Lesnar and Oba family weigh in. The whole presentation was real cool. We had the Hell in a Cell. We had them two walking out of the locker rooms. And first, Oba comes to the ring with a bunch of police inside the Hell in the Cell with Triple H and Adam Pearce in the ring. He weighs in at whatever weight. And then we have Brock Lesnar come. Brock Lesnar just comes out, locks the door to the Hell in the Cell, and walks around the cage while Paul Heyman's running his mouth, stalking Oba Femi. This was so pointless. I mean, I at first when I thought the presentation of it, the cell coming down the fire, everything was going to be great. And then it left me with that. Like, this was a big old nothing burger. It's just kind of a repeat of what Paul Heyman's been saying for the past 3-4 weeks. This buildup is already fully complete. They've got everything out of every drop of liquid out the towel, and they end it with that. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It kind of made them look like the only cool image is Oba and Brock looking at each other through the cell, and they did it just so they wouldn't be able to have physical altercation. I'm going to be guessing, but other than that, it was really pointless and just not the best way for me on the go home episode for SummerSlam to hype up this match. And then we get the Vision versus the Alpha Academy. It's like rinse and repeat bullshit. The Vision cheat and they win, and then they jump Alpha Academy after it. The universe needs to start a free Braun Breaker, because this is getting embarrassing now. Then we have a Chad Gable vignette. He basically goes through the history of it, says that he was wrong, how he's changed, how it's made him a better man, how all things he was doing were not good. That was really cool. I thought that vignette was good. We had a normal Penta vignette with him just saying how he's going to defend the title and he has respect for Chad. So again, a big match on the SummerSlam card with a hometown hero, and he's not featured on the show directly. I mean, the vignette was all right, but they didn't progress anything, or they didn't add anything to this. Nothing in ring. I mean, it's hard with Penta not being an English speaker, but they tried the best they could with this. They were all right. And we have a Liv Morgan vignette, Io Sky vignette, and Io Sky was just digging into Liv Morgan, cooking her, not nonstop, which what everyone does, calls her cheap. Pretty much the same thing that Stephanie Valkyrie was doing before Mania. And then we had Javon Evans versus Rusev. How many times are we going to run this? Like, run the same thing that has nothing to do with SummerSlam. Like, now we're just doing fillers at this point. This point in the show, I'm starting to get agitated because, it's just a bunch of nothing burger. That's what it was. And Javon ends up hitting him with the OG cutter, picking up the win. Are we going to do something with Javon, or are we just going to have him feud with the same three people nonstop? And this whole aura of Rusev, I don't even know why you brought him back if we're just going to keep doing this with him. He is awful. Straight up. I mean, he had his 2017-2018 Rusev day where he was the biggest thing in WWE, but that didn't work out. And the stuff he's not doing now is definitely not going to work out. I mean, he has nothing to offer besides being a strong, scary, big, monstrous heel, and they don't portray him like that in his matches. This was pathetic. I'm sick of seeing these two just get entangled in the mid-card with nothing on the line. And then we have the biggest letdown, in my opinion. We have the Danhausen and Joe Hendry concert. I had high hopes. I thought this was going to be a little bit comedy, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. This is the first Danhausen segment, the first anything Danhausen that I've absolutely despised. This was pathetic. The song was awful. They were trying to get the crowd involved, and the crowd wasn't having it. No, they were pissed. I would be pissed too. They're singing a song, trying to get everyone involved. They brought out the mini house. They brought out the dancers. and no one was feeling it, and no one was feeling it online either. I didn't feel it. I read some what people were saying, and this was one of the worst things the WWE's done in a while. And to say that about Danhausen, it is bad. But anyways, Ryan Garcia joins them in the ring, ends up hitting Joe Hendry, and then Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough come in and attack Danhausen and Joe Hendry. That saved the day. Thank you, Ryan Garcia. I never thought I would say that. Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough for saving that and just beating the absolute shit out of him and putting an end to all that. They should have done it probably 2 minutes earlier after they were getting no reception from the crowd. But again, another corny way to build up already decently okay built feud between Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio, and on the send-off show they ruined it with that. And then we get a decently good random match between Rey Mysterio and Ethan Page. This Rey Mysterio, I don't know how he's still doing this at 50 and taking some of these crazy bumps that he does at his age, but they had a pretty good, decently match. Ethan Page uses the ring apron and gets Rey Mysterio caught up in a 619 and hits him with his egoplex, picks up the victory here, which I thought was a good victory for Ethan Page. Nothing too special, but I don't think he could afford to take another loss, and for him to cheat to win, the crowd was booing the hell, and they did not like this result, so I like that. But at the end of the day, it was just something that is completely unrelated to SummerSlam that took up space on this show. And that's coming from me, who I will take Rey Mysterio any day of the week, anytime. But again, this was just like a curveball. It just came out, it just hit blindsided me of like, what the hell is this match? And then we get to where the show really starts picking up. Probably in the last 45 minutes to an hour, we have the Usos come out for a promo, and they are pretty much immediately interrupted right after they run it back eating by Solo Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa, the best thing that ever happened to him was him leaving the MFTs, because the way he is able to character work, he is joking, he's very sarcastic, his facial expressions, everything he has done is immediately won people over. His enforcer gimmick with the Bloodline was good because he was able to look like that big, strong, heelish character. He got away from that, and now WWE is really letting him shine on his own with this crowd work. He is working the crowd while talking to the people he's supposed to be engaging with. And he's getting it all wrapped up and causing people to laugh, and people ate it up. And LA ate this one up tonight. He pretty much cooks the Usos, tells Roman to kiss his ass. He calls LA Knight. LA Knight comes out, and he torches the Usos too. He says they should go back to doing their little Samoan dance or whatever. It was an absolutely funny segment. I love this from start to finish. The Usos stood no chance against LA Knight and Solo Sikoa. They really had their way with them. But then LA Knight goes to the ring. They start brawling. Jacob Fatu comes out, and then Royce King comes out, and then Royce Keys, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa get the upper hand and take them all out. A fun, nice little segment that got everyone involved, all the people that are capable of really having with the mic in their hand. They got them all involved, and then got physical in the end. Had the baby faces, I would say, stand heel or stand tall at the end, which is obviously different from the weeks past where the Bloodline has stood tall. So I thought this was a great way to send them into SummerSlam. That's what you should do. You got to give them that last. Got to give us in the community and the universe the last push. Like, all right, here, take it. It's gonna be a great match at SummerSlam, and this is what this segment really did for them. And then we had a banger of a match between Sol Ruca and Raquel Rodriguez for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was physical. They're both bleeding. Raquel Rodriguez's nose was completely busted open. But obviously they go on doing all sorts of Sol Ruca's doing all sorts of her moves. Raquel Rodriguez looking super strong, catching Sol midair multiple times, but it inevitably leads to the Judgment coming out, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan causing distractions. Io Sky comes out, takes out Liv Morgan, kills her, by the way, does the bullet train effect onto the ring post. It sounded vicious. Like I literally thought she collapsed Liv Morgan's face in, but it leads to Sol Ruca attempting to do the Snow Snatcher, gets pulled down by Roxanne Perez, hits her face on the pole into a Tahana bomb by by Raquel Rodriguez, and we have a new Women's Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was a good, just quick switch up, a nice little title change here randomly on Raw, and a good match to go along with it. Now, the only problem I have with it is they're using the Intercontinental Championship to try and build the feud between Liv Morgan and Io Sky. Why can't they just have their own thing? Or if so, make it even. Like, make it 50-50 or 60-40 for the women's champion. Like, have them be the catalyst to all this. But that's not the case. And another thing is, why couldn't they have done this match on SummerSlam Saturday and had a title change on the card and let all these women and let them build the day before their match? Let Io Sky and Liv Morgan build the day before their match and just have the title change at SummerSlam. Because for me, I don't know, Sol Ruka fits perfectly into SummerSlam. Like, her whole character, everything, her whole vibe, her name being Sol, which is son, it fits into SummerSlam. I just don't know why they just didn't do this on the SummerSlam card. That would be my only nitpick here is, why does WWE like to put one random title match on the episode before the PLE? Just put it on the PLE. Like, you could have been using that time to build it up, but they decided to do away with that, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion. And then to end the show, we have the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins segment. Again, this didn't live up to the full potential. It was better than some of the past weeks, and we got the two face-to-face, but it just leads to Seth immediately interrupting, and he kind of does the same old saying that Roman's never there, that he's never beat him, but then he brings Roman's family into it. He says that back at WrestleMania 31, when he cashed in on Roman, Roman's family left the arena crying, and that really ticked Roman Reigns off. Roman Reigns, they begin to punch on Seth Rollins. They go, and he gets the upper hand. He starts taking him out, and Seth is leaning up against the ropes. Roman Reigns goes to grab a steel chair, just like they did in 2012 when Seth turned his back on Roman Reigns, and he gets into the ring and gets curb stomped onto the chair. I thought that was a great callback. Like I said, if you want to build a feud, you have to use their past, and that's exactly what Seth Rollins was able to do here. He was able to get into Roman Reigns' head with his words, call back to the cash-in that really affected Roman. Roman gets pissed off that all happened. He goes to recreate that moment where Seth turned on him, and it leads to him getting stomped onto the chair. So that was I wouldn't say it was the best way for them to send off in the SummerSlam. I feel like they've really lacked that part of the story of all the past that they've gone through. They did nonstop replays of throughout the years. That was stupid. Took up most of the show doing that, but a good way for it was, like I said, an okay way to get him into SummerSlam. But yeah, Roman's definitely winning. Seth got the upper hand on the last episode, on the send-off episode of Raw. Roman's 100% going to win. So that pisses me off. But anyways, like I said, the first, like, literally 75% of the show, 60% of the show was just atrocious. Half the stuff did not have to do with SummerSlam in general. The ads were ridiculous. The replays, they had a promotion for the Hell in a Cell, like just the cage itself. And the nonstop celebrity shots in the crowd just completely broke this episode up and, just, in my opinion, ruined it. It was just not the best thing for SummerSlam. And WWE has just completely lacked that over the past few years, over the past couple years. Is just not being able to send us off happy into the event. And that happened at WrestleMania, the WrestleMania before. And it seems like it's happening here. But, yeah, thanks for watching. I will see y'all Friday for SmackDown, and then I will see y'all Saturday and Sunday for both nights of SummerSlam. So stay tuned for those. Take care. Have a good one.